Hello guys, this is Pearl and you are most welcome to today's tutorial. For today, I am super and overly excited to take you through a tutorial on 5 best layout design practices you should always stick to in your layout design. Now let's quickly get started and let's find out what are the 5 best layout design practices you should always adopt. Let's go. The very first best layout design practice I have for you is always have a single focal point. What is a focal point? A focal point is an area of interest or emphasis. So whichever area on your website you want to emphasize or use to grab the attention of your website visitors, that is your focal point. A call to action button can be a focal point, a heading can be a focal point, and also an image can be a focal point. It depends on how all these elements come together and integrate into the web design to call onto the attention of the website visitor or to help you emphasize something very specific to your website visitor. So all these elements can be focal points, but the best example or the best practices is using an image as your main element of your page. So the image is going to be the focal point, and this example right here is a great example. So the major focal point is the child. So you see right here that this website is asking for donations. So it says children need your help today. And the major focal point is this innocent child. When you see this image, it is going to help you know what action to take on this website. And this is a good example of having a major focal point or a single focal point. So you look at the image, it's emotional, it's appealing. You read whatever content that is here, which is children need your help, and you also take an action, which is donate. So if you are able to get a single focal point to grab the attention of your website visitors, what it does is that it is going to lead them from one page to the other, and at the end of the day, you are going to get an action on your website. So that is one of the most important things when you are doing or when you are putting together your design layout. Never forget to always have a single focal point. The second best layout design practice I have for you is to always make sure that your layout design is communicative or tells a story. Every layout design must tell a story or communicate to the website visitor. It shouldn't be just a design. Your design should find a way to communicate to the website visitor. And this is a good thing. When your design is communicative enough, it tells the website visitor or gives the website visitor more insights about your website, about your product or services. And it's even a good way to emphasize on the benefit of your product or services or the benefit of your website or the value your product or services is going to give to the website visitor when they take an action on your website. It is very important. So always make sure that your layout design is communicative enough and is also emphasizing on the value that the website visitor is going to get at the end of the day. And this is a good example right here. Now this example is an iPhone 6 product, and this iPhone 6 product web design or layout design is very great because it's communicative. You see right here that this is the phone for everybody to see, and it has a communicative message. The communicative message is in such a way that it's telling the website visitor the benefits they are going to get at the end of the day by taking an action on this particular website, which is by buying the product. So you can see right here that there is buy now. It emphasizes on the benefits, and this web design layout is communicative enough. So the second best practice to always stick to when designing your layout is to make sure that your layout is communicative enough. And you're not only going to get a best layout design, but you're also going to get more traffic and conversions on your website. The third best layout design practice I have for you is to make sure that you embrace white spaces. White spaces are very important in any design layout, and you always have to embrace white spaces. A design layout doesn't mean that you should just put a lot of information or a lot of content on your page. No. Having white spaces, make sure that there are breathing space between your elements. There's enough breathing space in your layout design, and most importantly, it helps the website visitor lead from one element to the other or differentiate one element to the other. And it also makes Your layout design looks very professional and uncluttered. And this example right here is a great example of embracing white spaces. So you realize that this website or this design has enough white spaces, which is very easy for you to differentiate one element from the other and easily digest, read that information, and also have access to whatever information you need to have. And it is very easy. It makes this website or this platform look very professional, uncluttered, and very neat. Now, one thing about embracing white spaces is that you also need to create a trace or a path whereby your website visitors can digest whatever information you want to convey to them. This is very important, and always make sure that anytime you putting together your layout design, never forget to embrace white spaces, because it makes your web design look very professional, uncluttered, and it also helps the site visitor lead from one element to another element. Best design layout practice number 4 is to always make sure that your layout is consistent. Now, a consistent layout design means that your layout design must be uniform. And what this means is that the elements used in designing your layout must behave the same and also look the same. Always make sure that your layout design is consistent and the end result will be very neat and coherent. If not, your efforts will be in vain. Always make sure that your layout is consistent, and when you do that, it's going to help the site visitor understand your website better and easily navigate through your website page. That is why it is very important to apply consistency in any layout design at all. And this website right here is a great example of consistency in layout design. Let's check it out. You realize that this website right here has consistency in color palette and styling. So from the beginning, look, just take note of the color palette, just take note of the colors used in designing this very page. And the call to action button right here is green. And when you scroll down, there's consistency in color palette and also consistency in styling. You realize that the texts are in the same font style, and also when you go up right here, it's the same font style, nothing has changed. The styling and the color palette is very consistent. The call to action button is green here, and when you move down, the call to action button is also green. And this is consistency. This is a good website which has great consistency. So make sure that your web design layout is consistent, because when you do, it's going to be very predictable to your site visitors and they're going to be more comfortable with your website, and they'll stay longer hours on your website as well. The fifth best layout design practice is to ensure that there is balance in your layout design. Now, what is balance in the layout design? Balance in the layout design simply means that there should be even distribution of weight on both sides of your layout design. So whether it's a content, whether it's a visual element, there should be even distribution of weight on both sides of your layout design. This is because it ensures harmony and it ensures unity and cohesion in your layout design. Now imagine you have a scale and you place a scale on your layout design, and one side of your scale weighs heavier than the other side of the scale. What do you think will happen? The scale is going to collapse because there is no balance on the scale. That is exactly what you'll be doing to your layout design if it's not balanced. So always make sure that there is a balance in your layout design. Don't pack or don't put too much content on one side of your layout design or too much visual element on one side of your layout design and leave the other side empty or blank. Now this right here, this design right here is a great example, very good example of a layout design. So you realize that there is balance on both sides of the design, and we have some information in here. There is balance. Distribution or the weight distribution on both sides are the same, and also there is some content in the middle, which makes this design or which makes this layout design very balanced. And this is something you should always be practicing. When your layout design is balanced, what it does is that it ensures that there is good composition, and it also makes sure that your layout design looks more orderly. That is why you always need to make sure that there is balance in your layout design, and it's really going to help you create a professional layout design and also a layout design that catches a lot of attention. So make sure you have a balanced layout design at all times. Okay guys, this brings us to the end of today's tutorial on the 5 best layout design practices you should always adopt and stick to. I'm sure and certain you have learned something for today. If that is so, you know what to do at this point. Kindly click on the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel, and I promise to always come your way with more educative, interesting content, valuable content for you to learn something new. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, and I will see you in the next tutorial.